New gods and goddesses, kings and queens. God knew it was God in you. The knobs, the green family, allies, and enemies was happening. It's a double right. Hey, man, look, man. The game is getting real crucial around here. So, it's a lot going on. There's some things that you need to look out going into 2019. You need to look out for. Right now, Russia militarizing Venezuela. Russia just had 2 bombers land on Venezuela. And these are some long-range bombers. They talking about the distance that they just flew. That's one thing that they was bragging on. I didn't study the payload of it, but just that some bombers are laid. And bombers are they're really the what do they call it? Anyway, carpet bomb. You know what I mean? It may be one of those type bombers that carpet bomb cities. They was talking about how big these things are. So evidently they could hold a lot of weaponry. All right. United States. Boy, United States and Canada, they teaming up against China. So what happened, one of the CFO of Huawei, and it's crazy, and the Meng Ming is the woman that they arrested in Canada. Now, imagine this. You're on your flight. Canada is just a stop through. From my understanding, it was just a stop through. She fly, bam, she landed in Canada. I don't know if she was on a private jet or whatnot. I didn't even really get into the studying this and that hard to really start digging. There's so many other different things to start watching out for. But anyway, so she lands in Canada, and they pretty much like, oh, United States like, oh, detain her. So they grab her and they like keep her. You feel me? So let me cut this down. But anyway, they keep her and they don't let her go. And around the same time, they had like a G20 meeting, and they were saying that Trump didn't know anything about it. But at the same time, this is one of those things that this could cause international crisis. This is not like they arresting Sandra Bland. See, matter of fact, the arresting of this woman right here is gonna cause more ruckus than Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland was a sister, if y'all don't know, was a sister that got arrested for smoking a cigarette in her car. Actually, she got the death penalty for smoking a cigarette in her car. She was in her car. Officer told her to put out the cigarette. She was like, I'm in my car. Why do I have to put out a cigarette in my car? It really don't make no sense. And there's no law. There's no law that we agreed to that said that is the law. But anyway, she died as a result of that. They want to say she hung herself with a trash bag inside of the cell. Everybody knowing, when you go inside of a cell, they take your shoelaces, and they take anything. They ask you, are you suicidal? And they take anything from you that you could possibly kill yourself with. But all of a sudden, that this 5-gallon trash can was in there, and she used a 5-gallon trash bag to hang herself with whatever. You know what I mean? Y'all know about the story. But anyway, so this woman is part of China's leading technology. Now, right now, China was supposed to be going over there and buying buying up pieces of Canada's telecommunications. And they like, no, man, you can't have China buying up telecommunication. They was thinking that this is gonna be like a breach of security. So what it's looking like right now, like the United States, everything that the United States is trying to slow China down is not working. And it resulted to this. And as the backlash to them arresting her, China arrested two, not one, but 2 Canadian people. One of them is like a Canadian diplomat, and the other one, I don't know who the hell the other one are. But anyway, yeah, arrested them. They've been held. Now, right now, United States are hoping that she starts to give some intel. They get some intel out of her about what's going on with this Chinese companies and connected to the government. What have you not? Because they believe all the Chinese companies are connected to the government and there to make the government blow up. You feel me? I mean, it's not like the United States companies aren't there for the government and make the government blow up. You feel me? And make the government the shit. Because that's what United States governments do. I mean, United States companies do. United States companies pretty much the government. I mean, so it's crazy that United States is saying that China can't do what she does, because that's pretty much what the whole fight seemed about to me. Now let's go into South Africa. South Africa, still a major issue about the land reform. The United States right now, with all these European communities going through what they're going through, like the yellow vest protests in France. And I'm gonna get on that later. But why everything the European states are going through what they're going through, they're not paying that much attention. They basically put South Africa on a back burner. I'm not saying that if they solve all the other issues, they won't come back to South Africa to regain that territory. And it's crazy about South Africa. Now let's talk about South Africa, and let's really get into these comments. You got to understand that these comments that they speaking on South Africa, you got people in the United States in these comments, and people in other European nations in these comments that are paying attention to what's happening in South Africa. And I read one comment to where a guy told me it make his blood boil, and you hear lots of comments saying that the people in South Africa are going to starve to death. The South Africans, they ain't no such thing as a white South African. The South Africans are going to starve to death. Like there's no such thing as black British. Anyway, but I guess the white people is what's feeding the world, and this is a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous mindset. The reason why it's a dangerous mindset is because that wars are fought over this. And if you look at, for example, what went on there's a lot of lynching videos, and people are uncovering these lynchings, like of Will Brown, for example. You look at what was going on. Same thing what was going on in that situation. You have the migrants, and then the migrants happen, and then all of a sudden jobs are being took, and the white population get pissed off. Will Brown get burned and castrated and mutilated and all that type of thing because of a white woman lied about being sexually assaulted. So we got the same thing. White women are lying. You got African and all different other migrants that's happening right now. You have whites that are like wealth are falling. You have in all these things that was the same makeup and mix up of atrocities of the past that's happening right now. So we really got to look at this thing for what it is and what it really essentially could grow to be. France. I'm reading things about people in France, and it's a lot of racial tension. They talking about the African freeloaders, and it's a lot of things that are said against the African. And they was like, well, basically they want to kick all the Africans out. But I don't think that the people of France really understand how involved France is in Africa, and how France is putting a lot of pressure on African nations, and now that to where they pushing these people out. And you got some European nations like United States caused the war, and we get the immigrants. I mean, that's pretty much what their countries are doing as well, but they don't do enough study, and they read the first sentence and that's it, just stop, and not really reading through what's causing all this migration. They even got Africans. It's reported that his brothers and sisters in Africa had said that they don't want to come to the United States because they see how the police treat blacks, and they don't want to be killed. You know what I mean? So you have that going around the African continent, and also with the Africans in the diaspora, that is dangerous to live within the United States. So it's so much. So Mexico, it's a lot going on in Mexico right now. That what's going on in Mexico with the migrant caravan, the name that was given to it, that was popularized, and also the Mexican citizens. That you got to understand, you got some of the coyotes. The coyotes are the people that was actually transporting people and showing them routes into the United States. You got them, hey, getting paid. It's their job to teach you how to get into the United States, ways you can sneak in. You gotta understand, the coyotes pretty much probed and found the weaknesses in the border. So with that being said, is the enemies of the United States is going to be watching. They're going to see how the United States handle this situation, and there's supposed to be a second caravan, and who says that the enemies of the United States aren't in this caravan? So that's one of the things that you would consider in military, like bombing campaigns, danger close. That's going to put the United States enemies danger close. They're not going to be able to use their drones. It's going to go to a ground war. Eventually, the United States is going to see a ground war here. Whether it's civil, it may even be a little combination of all of it at one time. And one combination of things could make it, the dominoes fall to where you have the immigrants, you have a civil war, you have race wars, you have everything popping off at one time, and everybody fighting for different reasons. This is crazy right now. This motherfucker honking at me, but I was already on the side of this long ass bus. Anyway, but yeah, you got a lot going on, and only thing we could do now is just live life, man. And you gotta prep, get your beans, bullets, and band-aids. You gotta put your back to a wall, man. And look at what's happening with the attack against homeless in Los Angeles. These street cleanups that they doing. I can understand sanitation and cleaning, but the homeless population is rising. They don't have nowhere to go. The United States is one place where you could drive past vacant homes and also homeless people. It's crazy. We're in a quasi world here. But I'm gonna upload this video. Them are some of the things to watch out for in 2019. That they are going to be big issues. And yeah, we're gonna keep this thing building. But y'all stay safe. All right.